to our Power Thinking, rejuvenating your amazing mind training for Wednesday. It is Christmas Eve, the 24th of December. This year is almost over, folks. I've been saying this for months, but now we're talking days. But tomorrow's a big day. It is Christmas, and there'll be a lot of young people, a lot of folks who are going to be happy just being around family, but certainly getting gifts as well. And so we're excited that we are with you this Christmas Eve, and we recognize that many folks traveling, preparing to travel they're with family now as we speak, and so they're taking the time off. And we decided, well, we weren't going to take the time off, and we were going to be here just in case folks wanted to just be part of what we do for 30 minutes. And so we want to thank the people who are with us on multiple platforms. On LinkedIn, feel free to, if you're joining us, to leave a comment. On Facebook, on YouTube, on X, and on Twitch, which is a relatively new platform that is very popular and was pretty much started by and for gamers, and has evolved to great numbers of folks who are there. So we want to appreciate all of you who are on our multiple platforms. We've just been experimenting with this just over the past months. We started off with 3 platforms, and we upgraded the service that we use to connect to those platforms to the point where we now are on 5. And over time, we will be then working to build the audiences, on those platforms. So, of course, our goal every single time we do this program is to help you to build these evidence-based strengths of resilience. And you hear a lot of talk about resilience, and during the holidays, we're going to need to practice resilience. Things happen. Accidents can happen. In my world, a couple of days ago, we received word that one of our former players, one who's 6 years younger than me, who played for the University of Pennsylvania, passed away suddenly. And his family was left with, having to deal with that during this holiday. Many of us may have lost people, loved ones, during this time of year. I lost my sister, 10 years younger than me, around Thanksgiving, about a couple of days before Thanksgiving, about 4 years ago. And so these things happen. There are people who will probably next week will be tapped on the shoulder and pulled into the office and told, well, today is your last day. May have worked there 25 years. Or like a character in the movie It's a Wonderful Life, and we shared with you the 1 minute video. It's a Wonderful Life ending. It's about 1.5 minutes, where an individual is going through a real tough time. Banker did a lot for the people in the town in terms of mortgages and so forth, but was going to have that bank shut down, by federal agencies and the federal regulators because things weren't going well. There was a rush on the bank, and people were looking to get their money, and they couldn't. So this individual was looking to pretty much end his life. He had a wife and family, children, but yet was so distraught, so depressed, that he was ready to just end his life. And when you put it all in perspective, he still had a lot to live for. And so the movie was all about having some assistance in looking over his life and look at all the people that he, was able to help in many, many ways. And it ended up with, people in the community coming to his aid and contributing dollars to save the bank. And it ended up with this quote, remember, no person is a failure who has friends. And what that speaks to is the the seventh of our seven inner strengths of resilience. I see someone, I'm going to put a comment up, who's saying hello, Jasmine Ofori. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Mention where you are joining us from. Connecting on LinkedIn. So we have other folks who were joining us on the line. I'm actually now going to put us into the Q&A. I didn't do that from the start. So
Q&A session has started.
Hit that that *6 on your phone. Love to get your comments as we move along. But the quote at the end of the movie was, "Remember, no person is a failure who has friends." And again, it speaks to our seventh of the seven strengths that resilient people have. And that is reaching out. That is taking that initiative to connect with other people and take action when faced with setbacks and challenges. Well, while George in the movie did not reach out, his friends and members of the community had empathy. Right, this is the power of empathy, and they reached out to him. They surprised him with an outpouring of love and the cash needed to save the bank so that they all can move forward. And so this movie was kind of a perfect example of power thinking and resilience, how emotion regulation comes into play, impulse control. Of course, he had that impulse to jump off a bridge and end his life. And he received help in terms of keeping him from doing that, and then reviewing, all the good things that has happened in his life. And so there's the empathy, there's self-efficacy, the belief that you have control over your ability to succeed. And he had that angel, Clarence, who helped him see that, he needed to hold on to the belief that he could succeed. There was optimism, the view that all things would ultimately have a successful outcome. There's causal analysis, getting down to the root cause of a situation or problem, and of course, reaching out, as we just discussed. So this movie was just a perfect example of resilience, and love to get your thoughts. I see Jasmine also. What I asked where Jasmine was joining us from. Jasmine, you're joining us from the UK, so it is about, I would imagine, about 3:30 or so a.m. On Thursday, Christmas Day. Merry Christmas to you in the UK. So appreciate you being with us. So love to get your thoughts, folks who are on the phone lines. If you'd like to hit that *6, feel free to do that at any time, or just relax for the time that we have left, about 20 minutes or so, and kind of listen in. And if you have something that you'd like to say, feel free to hit that *6. Have to do that. So if you just want to relax, or you may have company and you may have earbuds in your ear. So certainly we understand that as well. So questions I have: what did you think about the video? What did you think about the movie It's a Wonderful Life as it relates to what we focus on with helping you to build these skills and strengthen you in the 7 areas that we talked about? Hey, how about this? What is your favorite holiday movie or Christmas movie? So if you'd like to comment on that, please do. You can type it in the chat if you are on LinkedIn or YouTube, or certainly you can just hit *6 and let us know. I saw a news channel. There was a news channel that actually had some of their newscasters reveal their favorite movies. So you had, if someone mentioned It's a Wonderful Life, they went way back 80 years, almost 80 years ago for that one. But then there are ones that I remember my children watched and became a classic for folks in that age group. And a couple of people mentioned this one. It's Home Alone, right? Which was really a really fun movie. And there was Christmas Vacation. There's a Christmas Carol, very old movie. There's all kinds of holiday movies. So feel free to share yours. And we see Jasmine from the UK saying, it is, what time is it there? Yes, 3 a.m. And Merry Christmas to you, Stanley. So thank you. Thank you, Jasmine. Really appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you. You're right there. And you're joining us on Christmas Day in the UK. So we have really evolved over the years. To share with you, some of you have been with us for 2 years, 5 years, and even 7 years when we started to do these Wednesday calls. And we appreciate each and every one of you. And Jasmine, we really look forward to you joining our group of folks on the app, on our PowerThinking Corp mobile app. So Jasmine says her favorite, and spelled the way you would spell it in the UK, Favourite, favorite is A Christmas Carol. And that was a great one. That was another one where, a person was prompted to look at their life and see that there was a lot of things that were done to be helpful to other people, and this is putting things in perspective. In the movie It's a Wonderful Life, in A Christmas Carol, it was all about, most of the movie was about putting things in perspective, which we encourage everyone to do. We have those two exercises. The one, if you may be feeling a little down now or tomorrow for whatever reason, make sure that in the morning when you get up, write down 3 things that you are grateful for. At least there's so many things that you'll be surprised that you can you really sit back and reflect that you're grateful for. So make sure you do that. And then before going to bed tonight, Christmas Eve, write down 3 good things that happened today. Now, for some of you, it may be, hey, I got my last minute shopping done, greeted my family members who came into town. So whatever that is, make sure you're, putting putting things in a positive light, because we tend to focus on, maybe the negative events that happened that day. So let's go back and tell you about our poll, by the way, on LinkedIn. We have another couple of days. It's going to be up for another couple of days, and we have 60 people who have taken the poll already. And it's a real simple question: what is your go-to December holiday greeting? And we have 3 choices, 2 main ones, and one is Happy Holidays. We have about 60 people who voted. 37% of the folks said Happy Holidays, my go-to December holiday greeting. And we have Merry Christmas. 53% said Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas is leading the way here. And then we had folks who were able to write in some comments. One person said Happy Christmas, and I haven't heard Happy Christmas too many times. So feel free to take that poll. We do have a couple of days left in it, and this is probably the most votes that we've had in less than 24 hours. So that one's always kind of a back and forth. What do you say? And people are voting, so we want to hear your vote. So as we move into 2026, folks, if you celebrate Christmas tomorrow with your family and with your friends, we're going to be going going to one of our relatives' house, and we have our grandchildren from the East Coast, the Midwest, and the West Coast, who will all be together for the first time. There's the newest grand, who no one has seen in person, and so that'll be just a tremendous time, and we're excited about it. And a lot of food is being prepared. So what are you doing tomorrow? And feel free, if you'd like, to comment, or in case of Jasmine from the UK, where it's Christmas Day right now as we speak, certainly let us know what you're doing today. And we're happy that you are spending a little time with us, the Power Thinking family, which is global. Today, by the way, I had a chance to speak with my partner in Tokyo, Japan, and she just signed up, by the way, for the Power Thinking app. And so I was on the phone with her, and she went through, and we're looking at doing some big things in 2026. As I shared with you, we are looking to get 1 million people by the end of 2027. And so by putting that out there, and not just throwing it out, but I'm, establishing that's our focus. And when I say that, I mean I'd like you to focus on getting 1 million, referring 1 million people, because if you do, you're going to get 25% of the revenue that is generated by Power Thinking on a monthly basis. So what that means is that you will be getting 5 million. If you brought in 1 million people, you get $5 million a month. I know it sounds impossible. It sounds, to some people, look, I don't even want to think that way, because it is, there's no way that something like that can happen. I don't even know if I can get 10 people. But you know what is amazing? When you put something out there like that, and you establish that and you begin to tell your mind that this is where you want to be, then guess what? You're going to start thinking of ways to do it. We certainly have the platforms. When you're on the Power Thinking Corp mobile app, there's a section in the menu where it says My Referral, and you can actually then just hit share, and you'll share a link with folks. And I'll tell you what the content of that link is, because we just did this with my partner in Japan. And if I didn't set this goal of 1 million subscribers, I probably would not have even contacted you. And that's what I mean. When you set this and you said, look, we're really serious about this, and we believe that we can do it, then your mind begins to come up with all that you need to do to make that happen. And one was to contact my friend and partner in Japan. She invited me out to speak the first time, and some of you may have seen my presentation that I've done for Comcast, for Merck, for Aflac, and most recently for AmeriHealth Caritas and their employees and partners. The first time I ever did this presentation was in Tokyo, Japan, because I was really putting all my time into Power Thinking. And I thought, you know what? I want to send an email out to the people who are on the mailing list from various countries, and say that, hey, I'm available to do leadership training globally. And I got a response back from my partner in Japan, now partner in Japan, and said, hey, yeah, we'd love for you to come out and talk about resilience in Tokyo for the Japan Positive Psychology Association. So it came out. The first time I ever presented the material that we present was to the Japanese military. Imagine, somebody from, like Jasmine from the UK, coming to the United States and making a presentation about the things that, she can do to help people. And it's at the Pentagon to, high-ranking officials at the Pentagon. That's what happened with me, with Japan. My first presentation was to high-level, high-ranking officials for the Japanese military, and I don't speak any Japanese, so it had to be interpreted. From there we did a 2-day workshop, all translated to Japanese, and so that was my start in doing Power Thinking. And from there, she had a friend who also graduated from the School of Positive Psychology, and got a master's degree, who was in China. And guess what? The following year, I was in Beijing, and invited to Chongqing with a 10-year visa, which expires in another couple of years. But I can go in and out of China for 60 days at a time. Amazing what we can do when we put our minds to it, when we set the big goals and don't limit ourselves. So, what I'm saying is not that, because you may say, okay, well, Stan, he may be able to get 1 million subscribers for the app. What I'm saying is, I want to help you, each one of you, think big enough to get 1 million PowerThinking Corp app, mobile app subscribers. Because if you do that, you refer people, you'll get 25% of PowerThinking's revenue, which means at the $20 a month level, you're going to be getting $5 per person per month. You have 1 million of those people, that's 5 million a month. I know it sounds crazy, but there are things, inventions that were made, companies that were established and have become great companies because people thought big. And as part of this power thinking community, I want you to think bigger in 2026. So it may not be about, getting 1 million referrals for power thinking, but what is it that you want to do in 2026 and beyond? And how can we help you do that? So, if it's not helping power thinking, you have a goal for your company, for what you'd like to do in a company that you work for, and what do you like to do in your community? Whatever it is, I want you to think bigger, not just have those smart goals that are quote are attainable, but that you think are achievable. But let's go beyond. You're part of the power thinking community, and you can go farther. Had a call because of what we talked about last week, as it related to thinking the bigger goals, with a couple of people, and it was amazing because they felt a little stuck, and yet they had these tremendous assets and ways to get to where they needed to be. And we just talked about a couple of things that needed to get done that that could get done, and I think they felt a little better, much better about that. So remember, as part of this power thinking community, you can reach out to me at any time, and we can talk through. I know we do have a higher level or tier and pricing for folks who want individual coaching, but just between you and me, you can reach out to me, and because you're a part of this community, we'll do something. We'll have a session where I'll help you. So again, as we move into Christmas, Jasmine in the UK is already there. I want you to begin as you have dinner and have fun with family and friends. But beyond that, we're moving then very fast into the new year, and I want you to think bigger for what you want to accomplish for your family, in the company that you may work for. If you're not working in between jobs and you're trying to get a job, think bigger in terms of how you are going to be prospecting, what you think of yourself and your ability to achieve your goals. If you're in business, set the big goal for yourself. There's going to be, stumbles along the way and outright failures along the way, but that is all part of the process. So I want you, if you haven't done it, to commit to trying the app. We designed this where at the entry level for $19.99 a month, you get not a 7-day free trial like some of my competitors, Headspace and Calm, but a 30-day free trial. 30 days, and you can cancel anytime, which means you pay nothing. You would put a card information in early on in the process, but you won't be billed. So once you're in, you can reach out to me, and you want to have a conversation, you can do that. I can help you, walk you through the app where you can actually have an assessment, take the 56 question assessment, find out where you are. We have professionals who have taken this assessment to help other people and was surprised to found that they were maybe not as high as they needed to be in terms of their emotion regulation, or their impulse control, or their reaching out, or their self-efficacy. You can find that out very quickly on the app, and it says on the menu it says Power Thinking Assessment. You can begin to refer folks, like some of you have already done, which we greatly appreciate. On your way to your million subscribers. We have another feature which is community chat, so you can actually reach out to people that you may hear on uh, on the power thinking calls. They're there in that group, and you can reach out to them individually through text. And we have a group, the Power Thinking Group, and like Cindy Holmes, for example, one of our newest members, you can post information, post your own quotes, or words of wisdom, or a link to what you're doing. So you're part of that community. Take full advantage, of that particular feature. And of course, our major feature, the notifications. We have push notifications. It's really interesting because I have downloaded, installed, two apps that I think, not I think, but are super, super successful, and competitors. We do something very different. They focus on meditation. They focus on helping sounds. We focus on, nuts and our push notifications come out about the same time. I like our logo better than Headspace's logo, for example. But I like what we have versus what they have, because we're helping people to change their thinking. And we've ramped up what we do with what I call micro learning through this app. So it's not about just, coming on a Wednesday call, but through our app, we're able to plant seeds. So just started this past week. Every day of the week, we'll focus on a different inner strength. On Sunday, emotion regulation. Monday, impulse control. Uh, Tuesday, empathy. Wednesday, today, is self-efficacy, where we send out a short video on each of those days, that may highlight how you can improve in those areas. Um, Tomorrow will be optimism. Um, and Friday will be causal analysis, and Saturday, reaching out. In addition to this, through our push notifications, we'll be sending, financial information. That $20 a month, you can get that back easily through your telephone, getting the best rates on your telephone bill, and your Wi-Fi. I just helped a person last week save about $150 to $200 a month, and we're talking about taking $20 of that and investing it in power thinking. So there's so much ahead of us. This is the time to break out of current habits. It's the time to think differently. It's the time to go big. And we are focusing in getting these million people on the folks who are the helpers, the people who are coaches, or who are nurses, who are doctors, who are psychologists and therapists, people who are helping other people, or heads of nonprofit organizations. You're helping other people. We want to help you. Because as you're helping other people, there are going to be all kinds of frustrations. There are going to be personal things going on in your life. And Power Thinking wants to be there to help you. And the vehicle is through the Power Thinking mobile app. So make sure you download that before the new year comes in. Great things planned ahead. I want to wish each and every one of you a very, very Merry Christmas. Enjoy the time with your family, with your friends, and we will see you next week. If you're around, you want to hang out for 30 minutes on New Year's Eve, let's do that. Let's go back and say goodbye to our folks who joined us. Coleman Holmes, good to see you. And Gloria Hairston, who just got back in the States from her travels. and said, hey, I'm back in the States. Are you having a call tonight? Gloria, we're here. So thank you very much for joining us. Calvin Patterson, great to see you as usual. Layla Llewellyn, who's also on LinkedIn with us. Bill Peterson, great to see you. Janice Tosto and Christy Williams. Christy, great to see you. Folks, thank you for joining us on a Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas to you. And we will talk to you again next week. Take care, everybody. Appreciate each and every one of you. And on our LinkedIn and on our other platforms, we want to thank you, Jasmine, and early in the morning in the UK, Layla from California. Thanks for being on the LinkedIn platform as well. And everyone, since we spend all of our time thinking, these 50,000 thoughts a day, we must think with power and utilize power thinking. Take care.